Okay, we are live.
All right, thank you so much. The hour of 5:30 having arrived, I am going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. And I guess we should start with a roll call, please, with the understanding that Alder Tate II, President Tate II, has asked to be excused for this evening.
Okay. Alder Taft.
Here.
Alder West.
Here.
Alder Pete.
Present.
Alder Mi'kmaq.
Here.
And that completes roll call.
Thank you so much. And I believe we have, I guess the first item of business would then be would be the minutes from last time, right? So Assistant Director Moore, if you would be so kind, I think you just have to read the date for those minutes because I forget.
Okay, approval of minutes for the January 24th, 2022 meeting.
Move to approve.
Fantastic, thank you. Do I have a motion? Thank you,
Move
Alder
to
West. Do I have a second? So moved by Alder West,
Second.
seconded by Alder Mi'kmaq. Do we have any discussion on the item? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great, thank you. That would bring us to our next item, please.
Item 0081-22, communication sponsored by Alder Taft on behalf of the Chief of Police requesting to apply for the Juvenile Justice JJ Formula Positive Youth Development Mentoring Programs Grant number 00429. Chief Robinson will speak for this. Staff recommendation is to approve, staff recommendation is to approve to apply for the Juvenile Justice Grant, and fiscal notes grant amount is $50,000, no matches required. Chief Robinson.
Thank you so much. Yes, Mr. Chief Robinson.
Good evening. I've got Sergeant Pettis with me. He's my COP supervisor. And okay, somebody want a slot machine? Sergeant Pettis is with us, and he and Officer Brady were responsible for comprising the response to this grant. And I think it's worth hearing how creative that they've gotten in terms of looking for funding sources to not only do employment, but also to provide public services to some of our citizens that might be in need of that. So if you will, Sergeant Pettis, I'll let you take it away for just a few minutes.
Thank you, Chief. And can everyone hear me okay? All right, thank you. Head nods are good. So Officer Brady identified a problem in his community-oriented policing neighborhood. As many of our officers in these positions, they're tasked with identifying problems and trying to come up with creative solutions to combat those issues in their neighborhoods. And in his, he noticed an abundance of abandoned properties, properties that were occupied by folks who don't necessarily have the capacity to keep their maintenance up, yard and snow removal, leaf removal maintenance. And so he also has an abundance of kids in his cop house area. And he decided to try and benefit both by applying for this grant. We'll be able to fund up to 40 participants from the ages of 10 to 16 in our community-oriented policing neighborhoods at $10 an hour to conduct yard maintenance on many of these properties that are blighted or considered unkept in our community policing neighborhoods. We're going to be targeting 4 neighborhoods: Anthony Lane, Geneva Street, Meade Street, and Villa Street. We have substantial youth participation at these areas already through both our community policing efforts, but also many of the partnerships with nonprofit organizations we've been able to develop thus far. And in the primary focus of these funds is going to be to provide, I believe it's about $41,600 in wages for these 40 participants. We'll also be using part of the funds received, if awarded, to purchase snow removal, lawn maintenance, and leaf removal equipment. And we'll also be earmarking some dollars for a youth capacity building event. We're planning to host 2 of them. One, we may attend a Milwaukee Bucks game, and another, we may attend a retreat in Lake Geneva. That's what's been budgeted for thus far. Aside from the financial element of this for kids, we're also looking to formalize a youth volunteer effort through partnering with both our municipal court and our human services department. Right now, there's no formal infrastructure in place for kids who've been adjudicated delinquent of a municipal ordinance violation or who have violated terms of a secure contract under juvenile supervision to do anything in our COP neighborhoods. And so I think it's important for these kids to be able to give back in an equitable way and have opportunity to do that without having to go far when families may lack transportation as well. So that would be a part of this grant application.
And just one addition, they've also had the forethought to think about including in the expenditures a shed to store the equipment so that it will be able to be usable after the initial grant period has expired.
Thank you for that. I am looking for hands. Alder Mikma, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is great. I think this is a super exciting opportunity. I'm really hopeful. Sergeant Pettis, I know just in looking at the grant application, as I pull it up, it was due on the 18th of February. Did we get it in? We're good with that deadline? We're just doing this formal approval process?
Yes, sir. We got it done on the 15th.
Wonderful. Good. I was getting nervous for you. I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. So I'm excited about that. I appreciate what you're trying to accomplish. I think it sounds fantastic. So excellent work, man.
Yeah, I agree. This is a really exciting opportunity. And I wanted to ask, is this a one-year grant or is this a multi-year grant? Is this a pilot?
This
Or
is a single
if you
year
could speak to
grant,
that.
which we would consider a pilot for us. We hope to attain the same amount of funds or perhaps grow our capacity in the next year. However, with the purchase of equipment, at least we will maintain a baseline in keeping that memorandum of understanding between us, municipal court and human services for local community service hours to be given.
And what we have an eye to do is after the first year with some of our community partners that have been so generous to us in the past, to see if they would be interested in contributing to continuing afterwards, so it doesn't have to come from municipal expenditures.
No, that would be wonderful. And I guess as part of that, and I can't help asking because I'm a teacher, what sort of things are you using for assessment? Like what sorts of, what are the outcomes that you're hoping to see that you can then say, use, to help, advocate for this program in the future? So
yeah, so I put together a subset of about 6 performance measures. Sorry you were breaking up there, but I'm hoping I can answer the entirety of your question. The first thing is we would like to see measurable reductions in property crime in our neighborhoods. We're looking at about 10% reduction in burglaries and thefts, but that is inclusive also of thefts from vehicles. These are crimes, as we know in law enforcement, of opportunity. Oftentimes kids walking down the street after curfew, checking door handles to see if there's something unlocked that they can get in and they can remove quick property from, whether that be electronics or cash itself. So we're looking for measurable reductions in property crime. We're also looking for increased investment among our youth in volunteer hours. So we're going to conduct an assessment of all of our volunteer youth ahead of time, kids who want to get paid to do for their labor. And we will hope to see a 50% increase in volunteerism among this core group of kids. And then we also have set up a performance measure for kids who are going to be conducting community service hours. Right now, as we know, we're close to probably 0 community service hours that are happening in our community policing neighborhoods for kids who've been adjudicated delinquent. And so what we'd like to see is a total of 120 community service hours conducted through this program at year end.
thank you so much for explaining. Am I getting any better or am I still broken up? Okay. Alder Pete, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and thank all of you from the police department. Sounds like a great program, but I have one question. First of all, I think it's awesome, again, like Alder Taft, being in the education field and dealing with many of these issues daily. My first question is there any communication contact support from social services as well as parental involvement?
So as far as our communication with social services, I haven't engaged in direct communication with members of HSD yet who conduct juvenile supervision, as I didn't want to put the cart before the horse. I wanted to ensure that the funds were in place before we actually started that engagement. And as far as parental involvement, this specific earmark doesn't necessarily call for direct parental involvement. However, I think with the way in which we're hoping to build this program out, I believe that members of the community and members of our families would be more than welcome in assisting with supervision of youth. There would obviously have to be some protective measures that we need to clear before we allow that alongside our officers, but that would certainly be something that we would be open to entertaining based upon the volume of kids we intend to serve.
Okay, thank you very much. One last question. Would you be open to information or suggestions from the community, schools, as well as other organizations?
Absolutely.
Because, okay, thank you, because I'm involved with a couple of schools, and one, I can't mention names, of course, for obvious reasons, but one school has some specific issues that relate directly to what we're talking about here. And I think that their principal would be very, as well as the community board would be very interested in being a part of this, as to make it a part of their total program. Again, I'm sketchy because I can't go into specific details, but I'm hoping that that would be open so that more people can get involved. Some
Absolutely.
feedback.
Yeah.
As a key component of our community policing unit, we focus on building bridges between other community partners, the police department, and the city. So if an opportunity exists to make a partnership, rest assured we're going to do everything we can to try and build that bridge.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I hear a lot of folks in the community asking for this kind of thing, so it's fairly exciting. I hope we get it. When will you know?
Believe so. Application period closed on the 18th. I see that we're under review on my other monitor. I don't know when the determination on funding will be made.
Okay, great. Well, I look forward to hearing more about it. Okay, so at this time, a motion would be in order.
Move to approve.
All
Second.
right, moved by Alder Mi'kmaq, seconded by Alder West. And any further discussion on the item? Alder Pete, your hand is still up, which is fine if you have additional comments.
I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay. We all do it. So seeing no further discussion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. That sounds really exciting. And we will move to the next item, please.
Item 0100-22, communication sponsored by Alder Taft on behalf of the Chief of Police, requesting to accept the 2022 Beat Patrol Grant number 00391. Staff recommendation is approval to accept the 2022 Beat Patrol Grant. Fiscal note, grant amount is $121,434. City match is $40,478. The city match is budgeted in the 2022 budget. Deputy Chief Jesse Matoyer is available to speak to this item.
Hi, good
Please
evening.
proceed, Deputy Chief.
Hi, good evening. This grant is one that we have benefited from for a number of years, as far back as I can recall. It provides 75% funding for 2 Beat Patrol officers. These officers are assigned to the community policing unit and will be working under Sergeant Pettis, who was just speaking. It requires a 25% match, which is already budgeted, and we just completed the last 3-year grant period, and so that's why we're reapplying and coming back for you, because it's open and the money is set aside for our department specifically in the grant. Anybody have any questions?
That sounds great. I don't see any hands, so I appreciate that explanation. Do we have, so a motion would be in order if we don't have any questions.
Move to approve.
Moved
Second,
by Alder West, seconded by Alder Pete. Any further discussion on the item? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. We appreciate your being here. All right, on to the next item then.
Item 0111-22, communication sponsored by Mayor Mason requesting the city transfer 233 Jones Street, 1801 Meade Street, 1805 Meade Street, 1422 Marquette Street, 1317 Albert Street, and 1637 Packard Avenue to the City of Racine Community Development Authority for the purpose of redevelopment and sale to homeowners. Staff recommendation that the Finance and Personnel Committee recommend approval of the above mentioned properties to the City of Racine Community Development Authority. Fiscal note, transfer of each property will require $30 in recording fees, totaling $180 in transfer fees. Assistant Director Matt Regic is available to speak to this item.
Thank you. And Assistant Director Reddick, please proceed. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Alder. So these properties, as you've likely seen, are the subject to, in most cases, new construction activities to be undertaken by the Community Development Authority, with 1637 Packard being a rehabilitation activity funded by CDBG funds. In all of these instances, we believe that it makes the most sense to transfer these properties to the Community Development Authority, which is the entity that has this as its mission to redevelop and build home ownership in our neighborhoods. For a number of reasons, mostly due to the ease of being able to dispose of the properties and get them into the hands of homeowners as quickly and efficiently as possible, but also to fulfill one of the key responsibilities of the CDA, which is to basically take on liability from the city as well. During the construction process, transferring the properties to the CDA will reduce the city's liability for anything that might happen on those properties. So with that in mind, staff is recommending transfer of the properties to the CDA, and I'd be happy to entertain any questions.
Maybe you could help me out. So
Hey, I see a hand from the mayor. Please proceed, sir.
Thank you, Chair Taft. Matt, can you just mention what the plan is for these properties in terms of our land banking and what we're hoping to do with them in the short term?
Absolutely. I'll go in order. We are planning to create a single family house on 233 Jones Street. We are planning to combine 1801 and 1805 Meade Street, since they are both very narrow properties. We're planning to combine them and build one house with a slightly larger yard on the combined properties there. 1422 Marquette Street is a single property that is effectively a double lot. So we're actually expecting to build two single family houses on that property and then subdivide and sell that, each of the individual houses to homeowners. 1317 Albert Street, we're planning to build and sell a single family home on. And as I mentioned earlier, 1637 Packard, property just north of Gold Meadow Lofts, is currently under rehabilitation using CDBG funds to be sold to an income eligible homeowner.
Thank you for that. And just to be clear, could you, just for people who may not be aware, these funds that result from the selling the homes to the homeowners, then where do they go?
They will come back to, in the case of the ARPA funds, they will come back to the CDA because the city has decided to subgrant funds to the CDA for this purpose. The CDBG funds will come back to the city. And in all cases, the proceeds from sale will be then reinvested into eligible activities.
Thank you. And I see a hand up from Alder Pete. Please proceed, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Matt and Mayor, it sounds like a great idea. Just one question for clarification. Are there income levels on the home purchaser?
Only on 1637 Packard Avenue, because that's being developed with federal community development block grant funds. So that property needs to be sold to a household that earns no more than 80% of area median income, which is about 50 or so thousand for a household of four, or 60, I think. But the other properties that are funded with ARPA funds have no income restrictions on them. So that's five of the six have no income restrictions on them.
Thank you very much. Keep up the great work.
All right. So at this time, a motion would be in order.
Move to approve.
I will second that.
All right. Moved by Alder West, seconded by Alder Pete. I don't see any further discussion on the item. So there being no discussion, please signify. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Regic. And I believe we are on to our next item.
Closed session, I believe. It is intended that the Finance and Personnel Committee will convene in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statutes 19.85(1)(g) to confer with legal counsel concerning strategy with respect to litigation in which the city of Racine is involved.
At this time, we should move to enter. I will move to enter into closed session. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, seconded by Alder Mikma, and I believe we need a roll call to enter into closed session.
Okay. So you want to stop Facebook Live first?
No, we do the roll call first, and then
Okay.
once the roll call is complete, then we'll go into closed session. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Alder Taft,
Yes, aye.
Alder West,
Aye.
Alder Pete,
Aye.
Alder Mikma,
Aye.
and Alder Tate the second is excused, and that completes roll call.
Okay, so I believe that motion passes. So we are going into closed session now.
Okay, if you want to just give me a few moments to stop the stream.